Good afternoon, everyone. I am JJ Posadas, and welcome to Unbottling the Truth, addressing alcohol's impact on family and social well being, a learning session organized by the UP National Institutes of Health Promotion Program. This session aims to investigate the psychological and social effects of alcohol on family dynamics, particularly during the holidays, and discuss strategies to discourage alcohol use and address alcohol related conflicts in family settings, and also to promote public awareness about the importance of family, well being, and social support networks in mitigating alcohol related harm. Let me start by giving you some observations of possible contributing factors of why people tend to drink more during the holidays. Let's examine first the bed of alcohol in society. I think when you ask me these questions, we will talk about how alcohol is present in media, how alcohol is present on how we spend our spending habits, and the markets that we spend our money in, our menage or the household, and our families, and our merrymaking activities, myths, and even mental health. Sa Tagalog, pwede po itong makikita sa mga patalastas, sa pera at kung paano natin 'to ginagastos sa pamilihan, sa ating mga pamilya o mga kasama sa bahay, kung paano tayo nakikisama sa tuwing tayo ay nagkakasiyahan, sa ating mga paniniwala at sa ating kaisipan o pag-iisip. Let's go first to alcohol and media or mga patalastas. We see alcohol advertisements on social media. If you're younger, then you use TikTok. If you're a bit older, then you use X or Twitter. And some of you might even use Instagram. And those who are advanced in age might use Facebook. And we will see in this social media platforms that there are alcohol advertisements placed whenever you play some reels or some short videos or clips that you play continuously. In between these ads or inside these ads, you will have to see certain advertisements that portray alcohol. And some of your alcohol are even promoted by influencers, vloggers, and these influencers and vloggers actually actively use these ingredients as ingredients, or they drink it, or they actually expose people on how to drink alcohol on social media. And unfortunately, for social media, we don't have much control over it right now because it is not part of I think, not part of the mandate of MTRCB to monitor it or any regulatory body. I think the advertisers have their own way of regulating of how ads should be placed, but and the Department of Health has its own memorandum circular, but we do not have anything that controls social media and what to portray on social media. And once your tablets or your phones are handled by children, and if they are your phone and you are giving it to your children, then your children gets to see these ads because they're not restricted most of the time. So aside from that, you would also get to see alcohol posted on billboards and roadside advertisements. You drive along EDSA, you walk in your communities, you would see all those advertisements in the sari-sari stores, on billboards, big posters, small, big posters, calendars. Lahat yan nandun sa mga lugar kung saan tayo naglalakad or yung mga lugar na ginagaygay natin papunta sa mga lugar kung tulad ng lugar ng trabaho natin o kapag naman tayo ay nagko-commute, no? Or nagda-drive papunta sa kung saan man tayo nagkatrabaho. But we also get to see advertisements at home when we use your video streaming ads. When you use your video streaming sites, they have this ads that starts in the beginning. Maybe when you play in between two videos or inside a video again, nandun na naman siya, yung advertisements na to. So, are families being exposed to this? Yes, because maybe passively it enters your unconscious na There are these products that actually out there intended for adults but actually seen by the whole family, not just seen but also heard, because it's more especially in radio. You would get to hear a lot of advertisements on alcohol that are being delivered even by news anchors or by radio DJs, by your FM DJs or AM anchors, that they actually are being sponsored by this big alcohol companies. So people are exposed to alcohol through mass media and even through social media. So even in print media, I didn't include here newspapers and your tabloids anymore, because I know that not it's not as popular as before, but because they also transferred na into the social media sphere. Etong mga print ads natin, yung mga print ads na tinatawag natin, magazines, they just print limited number of copies now because they have a very restricted, hindi naman restricted, but a very finite set of consumers na. So they don't print as much as they print before. So what is the meaning of all this media or patalastas? It means that families are being exposed to such information about alcohol. And unfortunately, from these sites, you will seldom see information that actually tells you the truth about alcohol. That it has its negative effects, that it has its maybe it has its negative effects on health, on family dynamics. It leads to certain social problems. Puro positive. Hindi siya ganun ka realistic. And it paints a picture of alcohol as if that alcohol is needed in the life of people for them to be happy, for families to be happy. So let's continue. The next fear that we have is money and market. To be happy, for your celebrations to be happier, or events, or even occasions, your life events, your graduation, promotion, your what do you call this? The ending of the school year, your payday, whenever you have your bonus, all of these things are made extra special by alcohol. And this is how it is done. It is culturally or traditionally celebrated in our society. And whenever it's payday, when it's payday, we actually spend a certain amount of money from people's income or dun sa kinita nila papunta sa alak to celebrate with their friends because of the week that was. This may be a Friday night, a weekend, etc. If it's a celebration, maybe going to a bar or even drinking sa kanto, you still get to spend a certain percentage of your income on alcohol. And we even give alcohol as gifts, don't we? And how is consumption of alcohol in the market enabled? So you would get to see that when you buy alcohol, there are promotions. Sometimes there are taste tests when you go to dun sa mga mas social na mga markets, no, yung mga supermarkets, or even in the smaller supermarkets, may mga taste tests dyan, may mga promo people na nagpapainom, nagpapa-shot, and then you get to taste it, and then they will tell you that it's on sale. So ikaw naman mapipilitan kang bumili if you're really into buying alcohol, or mag-shift ka ngayon ng pipiliin mong alcohol than your usual drink. There's also a way of merchandising alcohol that you get to see everything in one single aisle and in different levels of vision. Merong eye level, merong nandito ka sa baba, merong nasa gitna. Pero makikita mo sila lahat sa iisang aisle that you won't miss where the alcohol section is. And there are also advertisements. As I mentioned earlier, people have tended to use calendars, Yung may mga promo pa yan, may libreng bag, may libreng baso, yung iba naman may libreng kalendaryo, no? But for the smaller markets, minsan mag-iipon ka ng mga takip, bibigay mo, meron ka maipapalit sila sa inyo, no? Or sometimes you would find that people would find yung pinakamura na alcohol that they can buy with whatever money they have. Another strategy employed by advertisers is that it is the alcohol would be consumed with food, or what you call product or food pairings. Um, like for example, there's wine and cheese. Like itong New Year, usong-uso yung charcuterie boards, wherein people will set up cheese and ham. No, you have budget ones, you have budget friendly ones, you have the more expensive ones. But this practice is actually a wine pairing board that you get to drink wine and then you enjoy your charcuterie board. And nobody discusses that there are certain foods that are being consumed with alcohol, like your for example your pulutan, mga tinatawag natin na pulutan. Of course we won't call a charcuterie board a pulutan, but in general it can be considered as one because it's actually a high fat, high calorie food set that you drink with alcohol to prevent you from getting drunk. So continuing with this with the observations, we have also your menage, yung pamilya. I won't I when we translate menage kasi it talks about the household members eh. But we as Filipinos kasi we consider our household members as our own families, right? And in the family, dito ka makakita kasi ma-observe mo talaga that yung alcohol, holding your own alcohol would translate to a rite of passage, a coming of age. And sometimes it is part of family rituals. Like for example, for birthdays, meron kang mga sineselebrate, kailangan may alak, no? Pagka ang binata, ah, certain age na siya, kailangan marunong na siyang uminom para magkaroon siya ng maraming chicks. Gano'n natin tinuturuan yung mga bata, no? And nandiyan din yung mga girls, we allow them to drink also. And we have a lot of notions na tinatag din along with drinking. At meron pa yan iba't ibang klase ng alak na pwede nilang inumin. Meron tayong pambabae, may panglalaki. Yung mga flavored na mga alak, yan yung mga pambabae or pambata. Pero yung mga strong na beer, yan yung mga panglalaki, no? Kaya nagkakaroon din tayo ng ganung mga notions na unfortunately nagpo-promote ng drinking among children, among adolescents, and even among all population groups. It's also in the family that people are exposed to alcohol drinking habits. Unfortunately, sabi nga natin, yung minomodel ng parents are being seen by children, and children would get to imitate this. And so sometimes also it is being encouraged by the parents for their children to drink. And worst of them all is really asking your children to buy alcohol from the nearby sari-sari store. Uutusan ng anak na bumili ng alak papunta sa supermarket or kung saan man pwedeng bumili sa suking tindahan ng alcohol. And it's quite sad because natututo na bumili ng alak yung bata at yung alak naman ay pinagbebentahan or pinagbibilhan. And in these kinds of scenarios, alcohol is normalized in the household, unfortunately. We also see some families, when I watched Showtime recently, yung noontime show, no? And then there's a certain movie being promoted right now. One of the hosts of the show would say that some breadwinners would actually choose to go home drunk because they want to escape from their family's problems. And their family problems and family's problems. So ibig sabihin, um, the breadwinners would want to go home uh, without having a care for other problems, and they just want to earn the money for their family to live. This is very unfortunate, as it's a reality for some families here in the Philippines. And And in corollary to this, alcohol is considered as a form of relaxation and unwinding. And for some other families, alcohol is even a reward. So these are the notions within the family that I was able to observe, that I think speaks for certain families, that experiences of certain families here in the Philippines. Yeah. Moving forward, we have your merrymaking and pakikisama. Whenever we enjoy alcohol is enjoyed, and it goes by the tagline of one of the famous products out there that says in the 90s or even until now, samahang walang kapantay. Alcohol, it seems like alcohol would strengthen pacts and bonds between people, and and it's a way of actually facilitating or forming bonds even between strangers, or forming stronger bonds between two friends. And there should be alcohol glues them together. Yun ang notion natin sa society. Meron din naman notions of walwalan, meaning disinhibition, lack thereof. Yung pag sinabi ng mga kabataan ngayon na magwawalwal kami ng inom, nandyan na yung, or mga matatanda actually, pag magwawalwal, ibig sabihin, from the root word magwawala or magwawala, which means na mawawalan sila ng inhibition. They can do anything they want, no? You're that these people would be able to actually do things without regard, no? Yung mga yung mga risky behaviors actually come in, and unfortunately, in these scenarios, we would see some people get harmed, and some outcomes, especially in between adolescents, that they get to have unwanted pregnancies afterwards, or they get injured from having from road incidents, no, from these walwalan sessions. These walwalan sessions do not happen in in bars, but sometimes they do, but they mostly happen at home. And when you do it at home, there are other people there, like older persons. There are also your parents, small children in general, and they get to be exposed to these kinds of behaviors in even public spaces. So yeah. So moving forward, alcohol in merrymaking and pakikisama is a form of remembrance. We use alcohol as a form in social rituals, from life events, from binyag, from womb to tomb, from binyag, kasal, may namatay, graduation, everything. Promotion sa work, nag-move from high school to college, all of those things, nasama na natin talaga yung alcohol. And even in some cultural communities, naka-embed din talaga yung alcohol. But when you see the difference between the cultural use of alcohol and that of consuming alcohol deliberately, or buying alcohol for merrymaking sake, medyo magkaiba sila. Because kailangan sa merrymaking, nandyan yung test of pakikisama. Dapat marunong kang makisama. At dapat pasaya ng pasaya yung ginagawa ninyo. Also, it's a form of socialization. That's why bonds are formed, because whenever you say cheers, you can actually clink a glass with a person you don't know and start a conversation with them. Ganun ini-encourage yung paggamit ng alcohol, no? And even before going home, meron din tayong concept of taking one for the road or the team. Na uwi ka na lang, kainuman mo pa rin sila. Dala-dala mo pa rin sila bago ka umuwi. Another thing that promotes or contributes to the alcohol drinking are the myths, or yung mga mito or paniniwala. These are things that represent the values, and they are the narratives that actually justify, unfortunately justify why social drinking is right. We have sayings of mas masaya ang kwentuhan pag may inuman, boring pag walang inuman. You also get this kind of invitation from people who would tell you, tara, two butts or two bottles. But these two bottles end up being two buckets, two big bottles of beer or wine or brandy. And hindi siya yung two bottles of two servings. But these are the big servings. You also hear the term of pag may alak, may balak, which is quite derogatory because it's actually espousing that whenever you serve alcohol to another person, that you have this sexual intent of being with intimate with that person. We also have this saying of magpainom ka naman. This is said when you have a person who is promoted or some good luck falls to a person, and we want that person to share their fortune with us, or maybe the good fortune that they have experienced, or their blessings to be shared with us. So we say magpainom ka naman. Meron ding concept ng mag-inom at magbanlaw. um this concept actually, I encountered this by with friends who we would drink uh hard drinks, brandy, uh the higher content alcohol ones, yung gin, and then after drinking what we call long necks, the bottles with long necks, later on we will shift to we will shift to beer to sober down, which actually contradicts the notion of magbabanlaw, because magbabanlaw means you have to wash down the alcohol, but you don't wash it down with water, but you wash it down with another kind of alcohol. And this actually leads to s- to s- uh, to getting really drunk, and to having the night very long from the evening up to the morning. There's also a belief that yung myth of the tagay sa demonyo, the first shot from the bottle that's being opened will be offered to the devil, so that nothing wrong would befall, or no misfortune would befall to any of the members who are drinking in that session. And there's also this advertising campaign that was I think was launched maybe a decade or more ago, more than a decade ago, yung gawin mong light. This famous line, the gawing mong light, was very popular. That all alcoholic drinks actually shifted to have light ones. You have the beer, the light version of a beer, light version of a brandy of the different brands. There's now the concept of double light, and this sends a different message to people who are drinking, because when you say gawin mong light, actually it tells you that it's okay to take alcohol because it will make things lighter. And when it will also make you feel lighter. So if you have a heavy problem, mabigat yung problema mo, you have burdens with you, pag ginawa mo siyang light, everything will be better if you drink. So, and it also sends another message wherein whenever you take alcohol that is light, hindi ka malalasing, or you won't get drunk because of it. Unfortunately, this is not true, because the light ones are still have high alcohol content. But there's also this other end of the other end of the spectrum called strong. You have the strong beer, you have the platinum ones, the ones with accorded with a lot of other descriptions of parang medals or awards, gold, platinum, right? So meron din yung medyo ganun na matapang, but nevertheless, even though if it is light or double light, still nakakalasing pa rin siya. You also have the flavored ones. that we call parang juice lang yan. These kinds of alcohol actually are quite sweet, and their target market are the teenagers who are not yet exposed to this, who are new to unfortunately who are being introduced to alcohol drinking. There's also this, when I heard mass last Sunday, the presider actually, part of the homily of the presider was, you know, because it was it's one of in the Catholic faith, it was the feast of the Holy Family, and the presider was actually telling an anecdote wherein he said that mabuti nang mag-inom kaysa magdroga. And these are the notions and the myths, or mga paniniwala na binabahagi sa atin ng ibang mga tao whenever they want to justify that drinking is better than taking drugs. Unfortunately, um, when you drink, sometimes there is concurrent drug use, and drinking is never better than taking drugs, because both of them are substances that whenever it enters your body, it changes your physiology. It has its negative effects, its health effects, and unfortunately, walang mabuting nadudulot parehas. One can lead to more acute effects, pero meron siya laging long-term effects dun sa katawan. There's also a myth of iinom na lang natin yan. Like, there's an effort by people to solve your problems by drinking. So, yan yung mga myths natin na at mga paniniwala that are present in society that justifies why people drink and why drinking is good, where in fact it is not. Lastly, we have mental health, alcohol and mental health. There's a notion that alcohol can actually help you generate ideas or brainstorm. Um, this Unfortunately, it has its physiologic effects, but this is not grounded in science. And there's also another misnomer that alcohol helps a person perform their duties and responsibilities, like providing for the family. And sometimes you see in the movies that before a person would yung manliligaw sila, 'di ba? Mga harana ng ibang tao, magsha-shot muna, or before actually talking to a person they like, they would take a shot of alcohol first. Unfortunately, this kind of portrayals is imitated in daily life, na kailangan ko ng ideas, kailangan ko uminom ng konti. O kailangan ko makipag-usap dito sa taong 'to, kailangan ko uminom. So that's how we were programmed to think about this alcohol, and how it helps us, quote unquote, to do what we need to do. It helps us now relax, unwind, and calm down, but it just dehydrates us and gives us hangovers. And sometimes, ito yung unfortunate na when people say that kaya ko ang sarili ko dahil hindi pa ako lasing. Unfortunately, when this happens, something happens to the person because they do not acknowledge when in fact they have to stop drinking already. So these are the some of the observations that I was able to collect, and by these observations, as contributing factors, I hope that we would be able uh, to check where our family is right now, and how are we really celebrating the holidays with alcohol, or do we really need alcohol in our celebrations, 'di ba? There are some questions that were given to me by the team, that helped me frame this lecture. Let me share the first question to you. The first question is, how do cultural attitudes influence behaviors related to alcohol use? The first thing we have to recognize is that Christmas season in the Philippines is an important cultural and economic event. As a cultural event, we observe certain traditions such as Noche Buena, attending Simbang Gabi for the Catholics, winter solstice and other celebrations for the non-Catholics, and other Christian groups and sects. We set up the environment for or the kalikasan to have the holiday vibe so that our culture or kalinangan can be expressed and passed on for the next generation to enjoy. Most activities during this season are about giving, merrymaking, and mirth. As I mentioned earlier, Christmas season is also an economic event, meaning that there are certain things that we do, purchase, or acquire so that we can say that the holiday spirit thrives within us and our families. During this season, our families, relatives, and friends gather to form a samahan and we do things together as in sama-sama as we strengthen our bonds or pakikisama sa isa't isa. Amidst these activities, we buy things that facilitate this pakikisama such as festive foods and alcoholic beverages. So, for the second question, how does alcohol consumption during the holidays affect family members? Basically, the second thing we have to recognize is that the holiday season is a stressful season. For families, this creates a stress point because it is an event of importance and there is a certain kind of or level of cultural performance expected of the family and its members. This means that by default, families and their members will be experiencing high stress levels than usual and will be consuming high salt, high fat, and high calorie food, as in the food that we call mga bida na Noche Buena, your lechon, fruit salad, ham, spaghetti, leche flan, macaroni salad, and other desserts. And to top it all off, adults will consume alcohol as it is also considered a ritual food, something that is consumed during special occasions. We often hear of early adolescents and children being introduced to the taste of alcohol during this time from the influence of families, relatives, and friends. Because again, alcoholic beverages are known to facilitate pakikisama and it became essential to celebrations. In the community, the performances of plenty and prosperity through merrymaking activities and gatherings translates to feasts, parties, and drinking sprees. Unfortunately, alcohol consumption is intensified and legitimized by the holiday season. It actually gives people an excuse to drink and to get drunk, and this has led to certain consequences. So, thirdly, we have to recognize that alcohol related conflicts rise during the holiday season, and one of the population groups who suffer are women and children and persons with non communicable diseases. Intoxication from excessive alcohol has been identified as one of the main reasons for the rise of violence against women and children during the holiday season. We also note that injuries and even deaths from vehicular and road accidents have been attributed from alcohol intoxication. Concurrent substance use has also been observed among those who have been harmed from alcohol intoxication, and fatal and non fatal complications from non communicable disease rise during this season. Moving from the consequences, let us now answer the fourth question. What strategies can families use to manage holiday related stress? For the fourth question, we have to recognize further that stress is part of being alive. Yes, the holiday season increases this stress, but we have to remember that there are healthier ways to manage our stresses than drinking alcohol. The first thing we can do is to plan our holiday schedule and budget. By doing so, We can prioritize meaningful activities and purchases over the unnecessary ones. And of course, time with vice, our time with vices. I hope we can all prioritize spending quality time with family, our relatives, and friends. For those who do not have the privilege of relaxing during the holidays, I hope we give them the time and space to rest and relax. Opening lines of communication between family members is important during this season. With people trying to make ends meet and beating deadlines at work, children going to parties, and homemakers trying to provide the best Christmas experience, communication can greatly help in at least knowing the status of each family member. I hope families can also adopt a safer and meaningful alcohol free tradition. Avoid giving alcohol as gifts. And please do not include or do not introduce your children to alcohol. Ang tahanan ang unang paaralan ng mga bata at ang kanilang magulang o katuwang na matatanda ang kanilang unang mga guro. This means that whatever they see at home and in their family is normalized and they get enculturated through this exposure. For the last and final question, what tips can help set boundaries around alcohol consumption? Firstly, as much as possible, please have alcohol free celebrations. Time with friends, family, and relatives can be made meaningful without having to chase the buzz. While I acknowledge that alcohol may come as a reward or an escape, especially for those who are earning for the family, we have to remember that current studies and movement point to the fact that there is no safe level of alcohol for our bodies. Secondly, I hope that we can remove and limit access to alcohol, especially for minors. This begins at home and extends even to our communities. Huwag niyo na pong utusan yung mga anak niyo po na bumili ng alak sa mga tindahan. Please lang po. Establishments should strictly implement social policies, as local policies on selling alcohol, and this may even be strengthened by community and local government enforcement. Sana rin po yung mga tindahan din po, wag niyo pong pinagbebentahan din yung mga bata. Third, I hope that families can find creative ways to celebrate Christmas in safer and healthier ways. Sing, dance, play games, and spend quality time together with your loved ones during this time. Mag-browse lang po ng social media, you get all the games that you can play na may enjoy po ng lahat. You get to spend that time with the family without having to get drunk. Go to an open park, watch free concerts, go to the movies, amusement parks, malls, or visit your loved ones in different places without having to consume alcohol. Lastly, I hope that families can prioritize spending time and resources for the good and meaningful rather than vices such as alcohol. Remember that alcoholic beverages are not cheap. Hindi po siya mura. And they actually dent a family's budget. Despite branding themselves as light or flavored or sodarized or maybe made available as easy to drink cocktail cans to reach various markets, the amount a person spends for alcohol may already be a family's budget for a day, a week, or even a month. So, with all these, I hope that our audience recognize that alcohol free celebrations during the holiday season is possible and that there is no safe level of alcohol. If we want to change our culture of holiday consumption, it begins in our very homes and families. I hope that alcohol related harm can be reduced and if not eliminated for the Philippines in the years to come. Muli po, ako po si JJ Posadas. Happy holidays and please stay safe